Eminem dropping bombs like North Korea. It's all happening.
Static selector.
It was the cipher seen round the globe, BET, the calm before the storm. The shoot took place at Detroit's First Street parking, flanked by a couple classic cars and the future of Shady Records, Boogie, Westside Gun, Conway the Machine, plus Royce 5'9" and his younger brother, Kid Vicious. Nobody's rapping better than Royce right now. Eminem dismantled Donald Trump. 20 million views in 24 hours. Every outlet covered the carnage. Grandma watched it on Facebook. At its core, the verse targets Trump's hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of slandering Hillary Clinton, talking about her extravagant spending, only to spend more extravagantly while in office. The hypocrisy of calling out NFL players, saying they're disrespecting the flag, after he disrespected John McCain, saying that he doesn't like his war heroes captured. These are Eminem's examples. This is what he provided in rhyme. M baited Trump almost immediately, which is really interesting. He tells him he doesn't have the balls to go against him. Says Trump doesn't have the fucking nuts like an empty asylum Jesus. All of it's delivered battle rap style. The Detroit Free Press said they shot 8 or 9 takes, which makes sense. He's a little out of breath. Most significantly though, he draws a line in the sand, giving his fan the proverbial middle finger if they support Donald Trump. We love our military, he says. We love our country, but we hate Trump. Powerful close. This landed as a highly controversial verse from Eminem. See, the problem is he speaks to suburban kids who otherwise probably would have never knew these words exist. He's delivering policy points smack URL style. And in these bizarre times, Slim's BET cipher is a diss track ready-made for dissertation. Eminem's never been afraid to get political though. Slim Shady introduced himself to us dressed like Bill Clinton, ripping out Hillary Clinton's tonsils like he describes on Role Model. He moshed on George W. Bush's decision to go to war on Encore. He released the track and the video a week before the 2004 presidential election between Bush and John Kerry. To promote the Encore album, there was a massive campaign that featured a shady national convention in New York City. Even Trump endorsed it. Roll the clip out.
He's got brains, he's got guts, and he's got Donald Trump's vote.
There's another track on Encore called We As Americans where M once got in trouble for saying he'd rather see the president dead. He caught a quick Secret Service investigation for that one. Those two were largely anti-war songs, much like Square Dance off Eminem's show, which was released in 2002. 15 years later, we're still at war. Also on Eminem's show, White America. Not only is this my second favorite M track ever behind Rabbit Run, but in my opinion, it's one of the most significant social political commentaries in hip-hop history because of the perspective it conveys from an artist while he's sitting at the top of industry. When this was released, Eminem was regularly being compared to Charles Manson because of the hold he had on people in the suburbs and rural areas. He was also taking a lot of heat for his comments about Columbine, the Columbine massacre off of I'm Back. That's where he said, I take 7 kids from Columbine, stand them all in line, flipping that Rakim line into something violent. People were not happy. Daryl Scott, whose daughter was murdered in the Columbine massacre, said to CNN in 2003, I encourage young people that are listening to please not spend your money and be entertained at the expense of my daughter's death and the 12 other precious people who were killed at Columbine. White America connects on multiple levels, turning a mirror on the nation, opening a visceral discussion on First Amendment rights. 15 years later, that discussion, freedom of speech, is more urgent than ever. Plus, a white rapper openly talking about the positive effects white privilege had on his career is unexpected, uncanny, and uncommon. Let's do the math. If I was black, I would have sold half. I didn't have to graduate from Lincoln High School to know that. The Elvis Presley comparisons landed right after Marshall Mathers' LP. It's kind of hilarious how many think pieces have been written about whether M is rap's Elvis Presley, whether he's co-opting the culture. Look at this. Entertainment Weekly, 2000, is Eminem the Elvis Presley of today? People Magazine, 2002, is Eminem turning into the new Elvis? PBS, 2003, crossing over, Eminem and Elvis. Huffington Post, 2011, why Eminem, Rolling Stone's king of hip hop, isn't Elvis? It's a stale conversation now, sure, the symbolism is obvious. Elvis became the biggest artist in black music, Eminem became the biggest artist in black music. Both their names begin with E, both prevailed through minority culture, which brings its own separate limitations as well. Lord Jamar, for example, they regularly argue M's skill level is overrated and only inflated because of his race. They used to call this type of thing reverse racism, but now they simply call it racism too. Willie D disagrees with that position though. He dropped this week. Roll the clip out.
What's up, family? Allow me to be brief. Eminem lit Donald Trump ass up in that BET cipher. Like it or not, he one of the best to ever do it. The man can't help that he's white any more than I or you can help that we're black. But he understands that fighting racism is dependent upon using his white privilege for the right reason, which he did. So what if he just not speaking out? Some of you motherfuckers ain't never spoke out, except for your rants on social media. Some of y'all ain't ever protested, boycotted, rallied, gave any money or threw a motherfucking rock in the pond, but you always got a motherfucking opinion. Some of y'all are just like the white supremacists that you claim to hate. You're not mad at what was said, you're mad at the race of the person who said it. Your mama should be embarrassed and your daddy should have pulled out. No more talk.
That clip's too incredible not to include. Shout out to Willie D. But the point is this country's always been one big mixed up bag of racial tension fighting for its freedoms, and white America encapsulates us all masterfully. The video for White America is cutting as well. Cartoon images of everyone looking like real Slim Shady, all tagged as drug dealer, school shooter, aspiring rapper, countering and reinforcing stereotypes simultaneously. There's a cartoon cutout incident of police brutality taking place within the first 70 seconds. He calls the country the divided states of embarrassment in the song and in the video, the democracy of hypocrisy 15 years later. Both song and visual are still relevant. M also released campaign speech in 2016. That one also tackles the Donald. But whether targeting war, targeting race, or targeting Trump, M's always gone political. It's part of his lyrical DNA. But what makes the BET cipher so compelling is that for the first time, M is forcing his fans to consider their own politics in the process. Eminem is the picture of America. There's probably more people in America who relate to Eminem than any other celebrity superstar. If someone came up to me and told me that Eminem had more fans than there actually are fans of hip hop, I might not agree, but I'd understand because that's the hold Eminem has on white America. He could be one of your kids. Check this out. The New York Times did a population heat map on where artist fans are primarily located. They did Taylor Swift, Rihanna. Here's Eminem's. Look at all them red states. White America. He could be one of your kids. M drawing a line in the sand forces his audience, even for a brief moment, to think about everything they love and relate to and revere from their icon in direct opposition to Donald Trump, the guy from the shady National Convention and everything that he stands for. No, Eminem is not the first artist to toss rocks at Trump, but this isn't about innovation. This is about magnification. And Slim Shady is one of few artists whose message crosses into everyone's echo chamber, across all lines. And he told the guy in his BET cipher, the guy who is self-conscious about his tiny hands, that he didn't have the nuts, like an empty asylum. Does Eminem's message have the power to affect political discourse in this country? If not he, then who? I don't have the answer to these questions.
Static selected.
Another Saturday, it's all happening. Thank you guys for rocking with us each and every week. Big shout out to Jamal Shabazz. He drew a picture of me as a bear. It's dope as hell, man. I really appreciate you, Jamal. DM me your address. I'll make sure to send a shirt your way. I know we're supposed to talk about ghostwriting this week. We decided to punt that for another week. It's all exclusive content. Obviously, this conversation is too big to ignore. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this cipher. I'm personally a fan of it. I love the message. I love the way it's shot. I love the future of Shady Records being in the background. I think it's super duper dope. I also think that song White America from 2002 is more relevant now than ever. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments section below. I've been asking all my sources about this Eminem project what they think. How does it sound? What can we expect? I keep getting back the same 3 words in some variation. Important, powerful, and relevant. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for rocking with us each and every week. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.